Breaking news, this is a follow-up on the video about Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's family and supporters attempt to hide from their due process as lawsuits are served. So let's go ahead and get in the this right here. So yeah, enjoy the video.
From his job, we know for a fact now that it was Sarah who put that entire group together in McKinney, all the way from which is 25 minutes away from. He put that group together and told them to go up there and do those test drives. We have proof that it was her. Now,
I hope he filed a lawsuit so goddamn big, Lord Jesus.
Sarah, I don't know why you were screenshotting people. I mean, you were sending messages to people telling them to do that. But some of your people done turned on you, bitch. And now we have proof that it was you.
Man, listen, at this point, I'm pretty much convinced that Drew Anthony is a mouth-breathing moron. How he stumbled his way into a little bit of money is beyond me. But you know what? Good for him, right? Because at this point, there's no getting around the fact that he's just irritating the situation that they're in right now, okay? We all know that Carmelo Anthony, the kid who went to Frisco, Texas, allegedly stabbed Austin Metcalf when they had a little bit of a disagreement. Everybody going back and forth, but the main idea that's being presented so far is that Carmelo Anthony increased the level of force being applied by elevating to a knife when it seemed like he was going to get his ass beat. The best thing that Drew Anthony could have done, and I mean it doesn't even take high IQ to understand that these are the moves that you make when your son is going to trial for murder. You do a statement if you so choose. Me personally, I feel like the statement could have been avoided anyway. But if you so choose to do a statement, talk about the loss of life and that you're sorry that this tragedy happened. In the story, shut it down, go inside, go home, deal with your lawyers. You don't incriminate your son, you don't piss anybody off. This man did the exact opposite, bro. He didn't even speak. He let his woman speak for him.
We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false.
And I mean, like, man of the house, huh? The man stands behind his wife and lets her rant and ramble and rave about how people are unjustly pointing fingers. Lady, go inside, right? So anyway, that was just when things started early, and the timeline progressed. The timeline progressed so far to where Drew Anthony is interacting with the most radical people trying to make his son seem like a better person. He attaches himself to Charleston White, and then he attaches himself to Tiffany Mucadoo, or Tiffany Billions, of all people, to be his representative. Listen, every move this guy has made since this tragedy is idiotic. It doesn't make sense. Stupid. He genuinely believes that employing some of the most ignorant people on the internet is going to help his son with a better chance. And now, with all that happening, he's hit again with another lawsuit right before his son goes to court. At this point, they have to be looking somewhere toward the area of financial ruin, bro. One of the biggest reporters, Sarah Fields, is now adding him to her lawsuit, and they've been served already. So I want to show you a little snippet real quick. I want to show you what's going down, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit more.
Hello, everyone. I was going to originally just post the documents with a quick announcement. However, I have now added a third person to my defamation lawsuit. It's a pretty big deal, and I need to explain to you all what's going on. For months now, I have been targeted, harassed, and smeared and lied about by Tiffany Billions and her associates. Tiffany Billions is the advocate for the Anthony family, and Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony is the 17-year-old who is now 18, who allegedly stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart on April 2nd at Frisco ISD. I reported on the Anthony case from day one. I provided context that was not given by the mainstream media. Documents from the court via open records, subpoenas, emails, and information about their first advocate, Dominique Alexander. My exposure and my reporting reached millions, including my advocacy for the children who were placed in danger, who were witnesses on the arrest report, who were being doxxed by these advocates and their associates.
And I think that's what really started the issue in that community. Now, we've come a long way from Dominique Alexander. That was their first representative of the Carmelo Anthony family. As goofy as he was and as idiotic as he sounded on Twitter, he was the most professional person they've ever had.
We saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case.
So when Sarah Fields came onto the scene and she just started posting, releasing documents, and everybody was forming their own opinions by those documents, he tried his best to put her on the map professionally and shame her. And he tried to frame her past in a certain way to make her look bad so that people wouldn't listen to her. We moved forward. I guess Dominique Alexander wasn't effective enough because Sarah Fields was getting too much steam. Drew dumbfuck mouth-breathing Anthony goes around and finds Charleston White and Tiffany Billions, or Tiffany Muckadoo, whatever the fuck her name is, the most ignorant people on the internet. Okay? Because of these people, because they're so ignorant and that you literally created lies around somebody who's heavily on the internet, who could easily disprove it, now they're getting the family sued. You see what happens when you surround yourself by fucking morons? Dominique Alexander was a bad move, but it seems like Drew Anthony can't help himself but make one bad move to a worse move to a worse move to a worse move. And now he has more legal trouble. And guess what? They're trying to duck the service. They're trying to run away from being served.
And it was my honor to assist the parents with making sure that a protective and a gag order was put into place. Because of my reporting and the attention that it received, I was first targeted by Dominique. Then I was targeted much more aggressively by Tiffany Billions, the next advocate. The smear campaigns, the petitions, and the lies were never ending. They accused me of being a meth addict, a drug I have never touched in my life. They accused me of being a prostitute, and they accused me of receiving leaked documents illegally, unethically, from a county clerk. So much so that they targeted her and her office until she was subsequently and unfairly fired. The clerk never sent me anything, and this will be made clear in discovery.
And this is what's crazy, this is the problem. Everybody can get on the internet and just say anything. And for most people, you get on the internet and just say some bullshit, people ignore you. But by some reason, if you catch a spark, you have a lot of power over people's lives, bro. You have a lot of power over people's opinions, a lot of power over if somebody's in the world that you don't like and you have a big following, you could really fuck that person's life up. And that's where I feel like they're not going to have anything to say back. You can't just say lies about people, get people fired, get people, you can't do that and not expect to get sued. You might not go to jail, but guess what? You're going to get your ass sued off if you fuck with the wrong person. I'm telling you, bro, Drew Anthony must not like his son. That must be the bottom line. Because this is not it, bro. You should have disappeared. We shouldn't have even known the name Drew Anthony too much until you guys get your shit together closer to trial. Anyway.
They have also used an individual by the name of Charleston White, who has also targeted me and repeated these lies on his podcast that reached thousands of people. I was labeled a bigot and a racist, and my integrity as a journalist was attacked. I was also personally attacked by Tiffany. She doxed my home, she doxed me, she doxed my children, and threatened them, saying that they were going to pay if I kept talking. She also accused me of being complicit in my daughter being sexually molested, telling people that my daughter was abused and that I allowed it to happen. This is a sick lie and an attack on me and my family.
And I wonder where she got that from. You know, Tiffany McAdoo. If we go back to the text messages that Sarah Fields got directly from Drew Anthony, another dumb fuck move. You know, they want to talk about Sarah Fields screenshotting shit. How about Drew Anthony personally contacting her and saying it was her fault because she wasn't paying attention enough to her kid, and that's why her kid got the M word. Oh, I probably have to blurp that out. But yeah, they're not gonna win this case, bro, and that's more money funneling out from your GoFundMe that you sent them straight to lawyer fees. Ain't that something? Crazy work.
Since I first announced my lawsuit, and as time progressed, loose lips have revealed that Drew Anthony was in direct contact with Tiffany Billions, aka Tiffany McAdoo, and Charleston White, per their own admission. Drew has repeatedly been told to separate himself from these people, especially Tiffany, who has spent week by week by week disparaging me and my family, as well as saying horrific things about the Metcalf family. She has called Austin worm food and has said that his brother should be buried with him. Drew has refused and instead has admitted to working with her and, quote, said, "That woman is a beast at putting things on other people." Tiffany also submitted a legal document to the courts claiming that she indeed is the spokesperson for the Anthony family.
Hilarious, and that's another little key section right there. Why do you think Tiffany McAdoo is going so hard for the Carmelo Anthony family? Bro, she has nothing going for herself. This is her career now. You know, this is her career now. She got a little spark off of Carmelo Anthony, and now she's scared to do anything else online because it's probably not going to get her as much views. This is her life now. Carmelo Anthony is her fucking life, soul, and blood, and she's going to run that shit till the wheels fall off. She's trying to go to the courts and legally be their spokesperson, and she's saying all these lies. You notice that, like, when big things happen in the Carmelo Anthony case, we're going to check it out. We're going to tune in. We're gonna talk about it, and then we'll move on to something else, maybe, or maybe if the week is busy, we'll stay on it. Tiffany McAdoo, or whatever the fuck her name is, has been covering Carmelo Anthony religiously. It seems like for like a year straight now. Ever since it started, maybe a couple of months after, religiously, live streaming every night, like she's some type of famous person. She wants the notoriety, and she wants that social media money. That's it. She does not care about Carmelo Anthony. Get that clear. She don't give a fuck about that kid.
She also admitted just the other day to being picked by Drew to be their advocate. So it is clear that Drew Anthony, Carmelo Anthony's father, has participated in a smear campaign against me, a reporter and a mother just doing her job. My life has been threatened multiple times. Someone attempted to swap me. CPS has been at my door. I was aggressively threatened by a man who is now sitting in the county jail here for cyber stalking me.
Oh.
And one of the worst parts is that all of this happened and is continuing to happen now, but a lot of this happened while I was pregnant with my fourth child. And then my child was born into an extremely stressful situation. We had to make sure that we hid information when I went into labor. I could not even announce it on social media. I could not celebrate like any mother would want to because of these dangerous people and what they were doing to me. We had to lock down my hospital room, and only certain people could know that I was there. I was giving birth when CPS came to my door and questioned my teenager about my 6-year-old son. All because of defamatory petitions put out by Tiffany Billions and her people.
And I feel like that actually, that's actually leading into real life consequences. You have CPS coming into the hospital while she's having the baby because you're lying about that. Oh yeah, you're starting to enter criminal territory on that shit. I'm just saying. I would say that it might be leaning on criminal. Tiffany, listen, for your best interest. You know, stop with all the flat out lies. You're gonna land yourself in trouble. You're gonna land yourself in jail. Man, listen. I'm sure Tiffany don't got much to her name, but Drew probably do. And I know this lawsuit's gonna throw a wrench in everything you guys got going. Separate yourself. The man can't do it. I feel like Drew Anthony is trying to ensure that his kid gets the maximum. Like, what are you doing?
The amount of anxiety and mental trauma this has caused on me and my family has greatly affected us, and it's not going to stand. This is why I am suing Tiffany Billions, Charleston White, and Drew Anthony,
Dumbass.
Carmelo Anthony's father,
Dumbass.
for their involvement in targeting me, placing my family in danger, and spreading false information. I am finally announcing now, because we were just approved for alternative service. Tiffany Billions has been doing everything possible to avoid being served. We have attempted to serve her 6 times. She has even made veiled, violent threats towards process servers. Due to the publicity of his son's case, Drew Anthony has moved to an undisclosed location, making it difficult to serve him. So today, we got approval from the court to serve both defendants through a Rule 106 alternative service method. I greatly appreciate your support. I stand with the truth. I stand by all of my reporting. I will not quit, and I stand firmly with the Metcalf family. Thank you.
You know this is not just something that she's just throwing out in the wind like, oh, I'll sue you. Nah, they're getting sued, gang. They're getting sued. And at this point, all they can do is respond to it. You know, there's that little server process that was fucking everything up for everyone. I've never heard of this before, but apparently a judge signed off on it. That's crazy. It's over with, bro. It's over with. Carmelo Anthony better pray that he has a really good public defender. Let me see when he has to go to trial. Alright, so we have the Carmelo Anthony trial date. Seems like it's set to be June 1st, 2026. It's probably going to be after the summer or something. It's probably when it gets closer, they're going to start pushing it back. I have no doubts about that. But yeah, you know, trial's coming, and it's coming fast. And you got your dad playing these fucking games. Yo, Carmelo, get off the Xbox and go talk to your pops. Tell him to stop doing that shit. Tell him to stop going around them people. It's fucking up the vibes. So this is another photo to where they attempted to serve her, Tiffany McAdoo or Tiffany Billions. You know what I mean? They put the good old service notice right there, and I'm pretty sure I bet you she never even touched it. You know what I mean? She probably has it on that door up until this day, trying to avoid that shit. Listen, it's coming. But anyways, I just wanted to update you guys, man. Everybody's getting sued right now, and I'm really excited to see what actually happens. You know what I mean? They've clearly been avoiding this and running away from this for a very long time, and now I want to see what the retaliation is when they finally have that in their hands. My assumption is, just wait for it. We're going to see what happens. But my assumption is everybody's going to shut the fuck up. That's what I think is going to happen. All the little TikTok lives and shit, I'm not sure.
I know June the 1st of this year, Anthony Anthony's going to go on trial. And he best hope and pray somehow he don't get the maximum years or death penalty for all this shit going on. Because his family and all these supporters he got going on, they are really fucking up his chances of being free. Because the judge looks at this kind of shit going on. And all these people doing that shit, it's really fucked him up big time.